Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Alt.tistic, the most retarded show on the interwebs. My name is Garrett, your host. We got our co-host Davey over there. We got my boy and my producer Zach, and we welcome you to the show. Today, we're going to be talking about Kanye West going off on all sorts of people. We're going to be talking about Christian Walker dissing his daddy, and Pfizer putting out a propaganda piece in collaboration with Marvel. On top of that, we will be watching a new Velma trailer where she is now Indian, and another movie in which she's gay. We welcome you here. How are you guys doing today?
Good, chilling.
I'm just kidding. I'm good.
He just went all like fish-eyed on us or something. Before we get started, I just want to remind everyone to leave a like on the video if you're watching on YouTube, on Odyssey, or on Rumble. Leave us a comment. Let us know what you're thinking about what we think. If you're listening on Spotify or on Apple Podcast or on Stitcher or Google Podcast or wherever this is available, give us a 5-star rating. It will help in algorithms and all that kind of stuff. And while we're here with reminders, just a reminder that I am also the ambassador of a coffee company called Coffee Brand Coffee. If you click the link below, you will get sent to a website. You can buy coffee, you can buy tea, you can buy cocoa, and you can buy merch or K-Cups or whatever. And you get a discount with that link. Or if you use the code Garrett, I get a kickback. You get some discounts, and you get good coffee, you get good cocoa, you get good tea. Use that link down below. It helps the show. It helps, me personally, but it helps the show in general. I'll try to use all those funds to help bolster the show and give it better production quality. Anyway, moving on to the main portion of this show. Kanye's been going up recently. It all started with Image 2, where he showed up to I believe it was the Paris fashion show. Fashion Week. Wearing a White Lives Matter shirt. And on the front of it, I believe it was the depiction of a priest.
Paul II.
Pope John Paul II.
Why Pope John Paul II?
I don't know.
Because he's epic.
I don't know much about Pope John
I don't
Paul
either.
II. But
That's why I'm like, I don't know.
I mean, cool,
There's a good reason.
cool
That's
shirt.
awesome.
We also have Image 3 just at another angle. So it's a really good looking shirt, but obviously this kind of thing caused a lot of waves. People were pissed off. I don't know why. I guess white people don't matter. We also have a picture, Image 4, of him and Candace Owens wearing the same shirt, which it's interesting that she was at this event, I guess.
He probably brought her.
Oh, probably. But yeah, cool. It's cool to see these kinds of shirts and this kind of messaging, especially from black folks.
Just to be blunt, the reason they don't like it are because there's black people standing up and speaking the truth instead of going with what the norm is, instead of going with what they're told that they should be. That's what being a black Democrat is you're told by white people how to think. And when you don't do those things anymore, you get scolded. You're a token racist and
An Uncle Tom, I believe,
Uncle
is the
Tom,
term.
yeah. They love, and it's like they don't even know where that came from. They don't understand, but it's fine. Kanye's is Kanye, and he's gonna do his thing, and that's what you gotta love about him.
Yeah, I'm gonna be honest. I haven't been a fan of him, like his music. I started listening to it maybe a year ago or two. And I do enjoy it. For me, I'm more invested in him as a person and kind of listening to the music through his journey from inner city rapper to like a really talented artist and a Christian, outspoken Christian who just says what he thinks and means what he says.
Seeing him go from like when Mercy came out, that was the first time that I really listened to him. It was Jay-Z. It was peak Kanye. Like, Kanye was the quote unquote best rapper in the game. He was the hottest guy. He was always wanting to be featured on every album. Everybody wanted to be with Kanye. And then, he got married to Kim. His stardom just kept getting bigger and bigger, and his name kept getting bigger. He got into the fashion industry. Here come Yeezys. And then when his mom passed away and he decided to dedicate a Christian album to his mom, people lost their brain because
Yeah.
they thought they were like, "You're secular, you can't do that."
Mm.
And then he stopped taking the medication that he was forced to take for his disease. And then once he stopped taking that medication, he started realizing that he wasn't a Democrat, and he started saying things out loud. And now it's crazy to see that they used to put him on a pedestal because he would go around saying he was the reincarnation of Jesus. He
Yeah.
doesn't say that anymore.
No,
'cause
he's
not insane.
he's become a very humble man.
He was nuts, and now he stopped, and he literally found God, and he
Yeah.
has the perfect story of what you want if you're an evangelical Christian. You know, you meet someone where they are. It doesn't matter if you're famous or not. And now
Yeah.
he's reaching so many people, and they're terrified because they can't do nothing about
Yeah.
it.
The only reason he's still alive is that they're still banking on people thinking him crazy. Because
Or they just haven't gotten to him yet.
that's true too. I mean, he was very close to the Clintons for a while since Kim K. Tight friends with those groups, so they probably had opportunities, but
Did you see the text thread that he had with P. Diddy?
yeah, no, we're getting to it.
Okay.
Right after we'll get to it now. So after that happened, and everyone online blew up, either supportive or not in support of. You got guys like Crowder coming out with merch already with White Lives Matter shirts, trying to capitalize on this. Kanye went on his Instagram and posted a few things. We have image 5, which is Kanye saying, "Everyone knows Black Lives Matter was a scam. Now it's over. You're welcome."
Amen.
Calling them out. Also, what's her name? Sharon Osbourne, Ozzy Osbourne's daughter, was posting, like, after that. It was saying, like, yeah, BLM's a scam.
Like it was Sharon Osbourne, because Sharon Osbourne's his wife. And
Okay.
Then his daughter, I don't know what his daughter's name is.
I think it was his daughter. Kelly Osbourne. Yeah, I believe it was his daughter. Kind of posting that, supporting that. We have image 6, where Kanye goes on a tirade against Josh Kushner. He elaborates on this a bit in his interview with Tucker Carlson. I watched it right before we did the show.
Beautiful interview.
Didn't have time to like download the whole thing and edit out parts that I like. But he was basically talking about how Josh Kushner has his fingers in a lot of scandalous pies. And he was trying to get Kim in on it, and Kanye didn't know about any of this. So this is what he writes on his Instagram. F Josh Kushner, what if I had 10% of Carly Kloss underwear line without you knowing, and you only had 5% without you knowing? Jared was holding Trump back. Ivanka is fire.
Is what?
Ivanka is fire.
Fire.
Yeah. He likes Ivanka, but he hates her husband. And then he captioned that with Jesus is king. So obviously going after Kushner there, Jared Kushner's brother, I believe. And then in our next, sorry, Zach's suggesting some stuff for us. So in the next image we have, image 7, Kanye adds, "You may not believe in God, but God believes in you." Something, again, he reiterated in the Tucker Carlson interview. And he had another really good quote where he was basically saying, talking about he was wearing a lanyard with a baby in the womb on an ultrasound image. And he was basically saying, like, yeah, I don't care what people say about me. I perform for one audience, God. And I'm like, that's a really good quote. That's something we all should have the mindset of. And then image 8 is where we get it was Puff Daddy, I believe.
I think that's the same.
That's P.
Oh,
Diddy.
P. Diddy. I don't know rap culture.
I know.
I'm sorry.
That's what I'm here
I'm
for.
sorry. I'm a white guy.
I am the I am the interim black man for,
Yeah.
for this podcast.
You are our black mediator.
It's an honor.
So if you can't really read that, I'll read it for you. Puff Daddy says, I'll go Nick.
I was waiting. I was like, say it.
I'm gonna go Nick Rekieta on this. Binger, send me an address. Let's stop playing these internet games and don't feel threatened. You'll be fine. Fine, just love. And then Kanye responds with, "This ain't a game. I'm gonna use you as an example to show the Jewish people that told you to call me that one." Stop.
I wasn't trying. No,
Oh.
no. He was saying that when he says I'm the Jewish people, it's just a full circle.
Yeah.
It's so funny.
That told you to call me that no one can threaten or influence me. I told you this was a war. Now gone.
Go and
Goodness.
get you some business.
Now go and get you some business. And then the caption on that was Jesus is Jew. So, clearly someone sent Puff Daddy. I'm not going to make any claims, but people of, let's say, a family of bankers sent Puff Daddy to kind of try to reel Kanye in.
These people are big fans of giant ovens. Those are the kind of people that we're talking about here.
You would see them at Lowe's looking in the oven section. No.
Commonly referred to as penny pinchers. I mean, if we're gonna allude to it, we're gonna allude to it pretty hard, man.
Okay, I can't.
I mean, I love what Kanye says about this, because when you think about it, me and Garrett talked about this earlier. 2% of the world's population own the music industry and the porn industry. Multiple other industries they
Film
have.
industry.
Film industry.
One of two major banks left in the U.S. is owned by that population.
And then most of the national
almost
banks.
every media company.
Yeah.
I mean, you keep adding to this list, and you're like, okay, there's a plan, there's a rhyme and a reason. This doesn't happen on accident.
Yeah. Well, you look at the president's cabinet currently.
Yep.
All of them are a part of that specific group. It's an observation. I'm just asking questions. We're
just concerned that 2% of the population has 98% of the world's wealth.
Yeah, it's just it's weird, like.
It's not normal. It's planned. That's what the problem is. Like, we can smell it from a mile away.
Call us what you want, but we're just looking at it and going, I mean, it's there, and it's interesting. It's a little concerning.
All I'm saying is if 2%, if white people had 98% of anything, it's an outrage.
Yeah. But I found this little conversation interesting because after watching the Tucker interview, he had talked about how he had friends, aka handlers, who would tell him, don't voice your support for Trump or else you're not going to make it in this industry. And I just find that very interesting, how you have when you're a celebrity, you have friends, but it's really just people there to keep you in check. And if you go outside of those bounds, you're going to have people reaching out to you going, oh, you can't say that. I've listened to some celebrity podcasts before, and let's say, one of their friends. I can't remember a specific instance, but I just remember something like this happening. Let's say Adam Baldwin. I think he's a libertarian actor. Adam Baldwin went on to Gab and said something that was like way out of left field, and suddenly someone on some podcast who was in a show with him was like, oh well, yeah, I saw that, so of course I had to reach out to him and tell him to reel it in. Like, why do you have to tell him to reel it in? I thought you guys were friends. You can kind of handle agreements and disagreements privately and not just say, hey, you have to delete that tweet, you have to delete that Gab or whatever.
You can tell that there are specific people in the entertainment industry that are relied upon to continuously push certain narratives. Mm-hmm. And that base group, that base group grows.
Yeah.
And so as that base group grows and these people then become part of these organizations that resemble the Illuminati, for just to make it easier on your brain to understand where we're going. They want to control things. It doesn't mean that they necessarily want to control the world. It doesn't mean that they don't want to control the world.
Yeah.
But the fact that they try and control other celebrities and feel the need to get everybody on the same page, it's a big problem. You do not want to listen to these people. They're nuts.
Yeah. I mean, just look at the entertainment industry. Find the people who are not good at what they do and yet are inexplicably successful. One of two reasons. A, they met with a guy similar to Harvey Weinstein. Or B, they're there explicitly to fuel a narrative or to be a mouthpiece for something. Or both.
Jesse Smollett.
You sneezed or something?
Sorry.
Oh, okay. It's a little weird. We're not in sneezing season anymore.
We're not in season.
You can't even talk. But one of those two reasons, or for both. So just keep an eye out, because you have people like Lizzo, who I like two of her songs, but ultimately why is she on there? Why does she get a platform when she makes the same music as Cardi B? It's because she's fat, she's black, and she's willing to not wear clothes. Like,
which is gross.
Yeah.
Put some clothes on, lady.
And they give her the famed crystal flute of James Madison while she twerks it up on stage and plays it. Did you see that?
That makes me sick.
Yeah.
That makes me sick.
To be fair. Well, not to be fair. But there was another video where she went into the White House or into the Capitol and she played it, and she played it beautifully. She was wearing, like, that's, if that was what that was nice.
She
but
graduated
then
with.
She did that, and then goes on like, and like freaking jiggling her butt on stage, and it's like, it's a stark contrast how she is privately, but then this is who she has to be in order to be successful.
It's like with Lil Nas X. The only reason that he's famous, and the only reason that Old Town Road was I mean, it was a song that was produced to be famous, and so.
Well, that song was only famous because, partially probably because Billy Ray Cyrus kind of had a hand in it.
That was the plan, and so they wanted this guy to blow up. Why do they want him to blow up? Because he's a gay man, and they want to force this gay agenda down your throat. And these people hate Jesus, so I don't care. We need to. They want to cancel people. We're gonna start canceling these people who don't need to be influencing our children, or at least make it a lot tougher for them to have influence over our children, because they get on TikTok, Instagram, Snapchat, and that's what they see. And it's like, first of all, if you're a young boy and you see Lizzo, and that's when you hit puberty, you have a problem. Second of all,
birth of some interesting attractions.
Yeah, you're gonna have a long life or a happy life.
Yeah.
You're going to eat a lot of food either way. You're going to be paying for some expensive dates, buddy.
You're going to have a hard time watching any adaptation of The White Whale. Cause
Moby Dick.
Moby Dick, yeah. Moby Dick is going to be your type.
It's like Clifford the Big Red Dog, but it's Lizzo, my big black girlfriend.
We got a couple more images from the Kanye saga. We got image 9. This is a TMZ story. Apparently, Kanye West wore his White Lives Matter shirt to a basketball game, and Kim's sitting right in front of him. I just kind of love that image where he's just smiling, watching his daughter, and Kim just doesn't look happy.
I mean, you gotta respect Kanye. It's like, yeah, he doesn't. Not everything that this guy says I agree with.
Yeah.
But I mean, he's speaking up and he's saying something different than everybody else is. I agree with most of what he says. I agree with his platform that he's built.
Yeah.
And I mean, that's what's so cool to see people like this still continuously being successful, but also pissing people off through his path. That's the most fun. You gotta have fun with it,
the entire way, he's smiling. Like he clearly has joy, and that's kind of what's fun about this. Is you're full of joy, you're full of happiness, you're living a great life. Who cares what they say?
Yep.
And it's just kind of an additional bonus that they're pissed off. But yeah, he also yesterday, day of recording this, it's Sunday right now. So Saturday, he posted a tweet where he said he was going DEFCON 1, I guess technically today now, on certain members of the population.
Here you go.
He said, this was something he tweeted out. He said, I'm a bit sleepy tonight, but when I wake up, I'm going DEFCON 3 on Jewish people. The funny thing is, I actually can't be anti-Semitic because black people are actually Jew. Also, you guys have toyed with me and tried to blackball anyone who opposes your agenda.
Did you wait until after my statement just to share this? Because this is the one thing where I'm like, okay, that's a little cuckoo. I mean, the only thing that I don't agree with, okay, not that I don't agree with, the only thing that's not absolute lunacy is, well, okay, the thing that stands out, black people are Jewish? What?
Is he secretly a black Israelite?
Like, not all black people are Jewish, but at the same time, like, I know there's got to be some black people that have Jewish in their blood.
Technically, we're all descendants, or most of us are descendants of Abraham. Or are we? No, we're descendants of Noah.
Noah, yeah. Everybody came from Noah.
Adam and Eve, and then Noah, because God wiped out the world.
So was Noah Jewish?
I don't know. I don't know how the Jew thing
How
works
is
because
incest a real thing then? I've always wondered about that.
I don't know. Well, it was a necessity back in the day because there weren't enough people.
God was like, we'll make this one normal, but everything else after this is going out the door.
We're gonna limit it to like third cousins. once you get inside of that, we're in some sketchy territory. No, yeah, I don't necessarily, because modern day Judaism I don't think is the same as biblical Judaism.
No.
Right? So you have a lot of guys who go out there and it's like, well, we love our Jewish brethren because we all come from the Jewish religion or something. And it's like modern day Judaism is basically built on the foundation of the rejection of Jesus Christ as savior. So they really couldn't be biblical Jews because biblical Jews were looking forward to Jesus' coming, and some of them believed, and then I mean at that time most of them rejected and killed Jesus. So it's a little sketchy of a territory. So I don't really know where the black is Jew thing comes in. I'm not a Jewish expert, so I don't really know where to go from there.
I don't either. It's just kind of strange.
But anyway, that tweet got restricted on Twitter for violating rules. So Ye, which is I guess is his legal name now. I will still call him Kanye. Posted a tweet, image 10, where he says, "Who do you think created cancel culture?"
And that was like 15 minutes or so after the Jewish people won.
Yeah, which I find funny because we have a post from stop_anti-Semitism on Instagram that says cancel Kanye. I don't think they helped their cause.
No, they did not. I think they were just like, that's them raising their hand. And like, maybe it was us.
Yeah, who created cancel culture? Oh, wow, you're anti-Semitic. You should be canceled.
Yeah, that's
Bum, bum, bum.
That is the perfect example of just a complete story with two images.
there you go. 1, 2.
Bing bong.
Right there. Oh my gosh. All right. I think that's all we had to say on Kanye. Did you find anything on the Judaism front?
I mean, we got this one, but everyone knows about this one.
John 2:22-23. Who is the liar but he who drinks from... it's so small on that screen. Who is the liar but he who denies that Jesus is Christ? This is the Antichrist. He who denies the Father and the Son. No one who denies the Son has the Father. Whoever confesses the Son has the Father also.
See, the one thing I've always wondered about, and then I think I'm going to have to go because I got a text from my landlord saying that my apartment burned down.
That's a lie.
No, I'm just kidding. My mom has dinner ready.
Yeah. He has dinner plans with his mother, so he's being a good
making
son.
Cheesy potatoes and baked chicken, just like Zach's mom. But anyway, the Bible, in multiple different occasions throughout, it says for first the Jew and then the Gentile.
Mm-hmm.
And I've asked pastors in the past, and I've gotten mixed answers, and I'm just genuinely curious because I don't know if those laws still apply or if they just applied since it was just all in the Old Testament. But even then, does that mean that us as Christians, that we need to have not a different approach, but a particular approach when it comes to conversations about the Bible with Jewish people? Because I feel like it's almost our responsibility to try and convince a lot of these Jewish people who are God's chosen people that Jesus is in fact the Messiah. And it's because it just, I don't know what other type of message we would be supposed to receive from this other than, look, these are my people and they're lost, and now I need these people who are also my people to go and help you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, they're lost and they're clearly not in the right because the Torah is not the whole Bible and the Bible is the truth, not the Torah. But that's in there for a specific reason. God put it there for a purpose.
Mm.
But why?
Yeah.
Help me figure this out.
Yeah. Without context off the top of my head,
Like
it could.
John 3:16. It says all regular John, but it says for first the Jew and then the Gentile.
Okay.
And so that's why I'm like, okay, so did Jesus come? And I know it's not that he died on the cross for first the Jew and then the Gentile. He died for everybody, but that's a very specific point in the Bible that a lot of people reference, and that part gets left out even though it's immediately after. And I'm always curious.
I think it's possible. So Jesus did bring himself to the Jews first, but they rejected him. So he said, all right, well, the Gentiles are the ones who are receiving the truth. So I'm just going to go to them if you guys are going to reject the truth. So the gospel's for the Gentiles now. So I think I think it was like we brought it to the Jews. The Jews rejected Jesus as Christ, Jesus as the Son of God. So Jesus went to the Gentiles.
I can sleep better at night now. What are you?
Zach's trying to type in something.
I'm typing, but it's not having it. I was trying to control F something.
Oh, okay.
Well, that answers my question. But yeah, well, I'm gonna go eat dinner.
All right.
You'll listen to what they have to say.
Yeah.
Let them take care of you.
Man, I was really hoping you were gonna be able to stick around for a special reading, but I guess I'll have to read it by myself. I might make Zach jump in and do some reading. Okay, I'll be reading it all by myself.
Nope. Nope. Zach knows exactly what it is. Oh.
All right. Well, say goodbye, Davey. Let's give him a hand as he walks out.
Yay! I can't hear it, but I know that he's clapping.
Bye, Davey. We love you.
Bye.
Bye. Bye. He didn't invite us over for dinner. I'm pissed. All right, so we're gonna move on to the next topic. We're glad Davey got to stick around to talk about Kanye. That was kind of, I guess, the meat of the show, I suppose. But anyway, Christian Walker is the son of Herschel Walker, a former football player. He played for the NFL, I believe. He was a pro football player. I believe he played for the NFL. He got to that level, and was very prominent. I'm not a sports guy, so I just know secondhand from what I've been told. But he is currently running for the Republican seat. For Congress? One of the congressional houses, I believe, for Senate for Georgia, and he's doing pretty well. I don't know much about his politics from what little I've seen. I mean, he seems to be a pro-life Christian guy. But recently, his son, Christian Walker, who is a gay man, let's say that right off the bat. We also have a video for you guys in a second, which that will be incredibly clear. But he's a gay man. He's also an outspoken conservative pundit, advocate, whatever you want to say there. But he recently came out and did a little mudslinging at his dear old dad. So here's a string of tweets he had, and then we'll watch the video. So he says, and I'm going to do a really gay voice because I like to imitate the people we read. I didn't want to do it with Kanye because I wanted what Kanye had to say to speak for itself. But here, it doesn't really matter. I'm getting into character. I know my mom and I would really appreciate if my father, Herschel Walker, stopped lying and making a mockery of us. You're not a family man when you left us to bang a bunch of women, threatened to kill us, and had us move over 6 times in 6 months running from your violence. I don't care about someone who has a bad past and takes accountability, but how dare you lie and act as though you're some moral Christian, upright man. You've lived a life of destroying other people's lives. How dare you? How dare you? Every family member of Herschel Walker asked him not to run for office because we all knew some of his past. Every single one. He decided to give us the middle finger and air out all our dirty laundry in public while simultaneously lying about it. I'm done. Okay. We also have video for you. I believe video 14.
Fathers, it would be great if you stayed home and raised your kids instead of ran off to bang a bunch of women
Instead
who
of
weren't your baby
ran
mama.
off.
Stay home and raise your freaking kids. Your kids need a father. Get back home. Get back home. If you take out your thing and you get a woman pregnant, guess what? The party days are over. The acting foolish days are over. You go get a freaking job and you support your new family. Get home. Raise your kids. Kids need a man in the house raising them. They need a good dad. They need a loving father.
What about
While you're
two?
around taking shots of vodka and tequila, living your high life, your kid is suffering. Get home. Get home. Raise your kids. Fathers,
The way he says it.
get home.
Get home.
Get home.
Get home. That was a very gay way to deliver that. So I found that interesting. Apparently, and I forgot to go and try to find this tweet, but apparently a couple months back when Herschel Walker first announced this, Christian Walker was very supportive. He said that him and his mom were very happy that his father was running for office. But now he's all on TikTok going, get home, get home, get home. I don't know what went down between them. I mean, look, it's a good message, right? You get a woman pregnant, you need to take responsibility for it. Clearly, Herschel did not because he has a son who was raised by a single mother and obviously turned out to be gay.
Well, I've got a good take from Kai Clips on his Telegram right here that he posted when this all came out.
All right.
And, I mean, it's just a perfect analysis.
Why don't you read it for
why
us?
this?
Yeah.
I was gonna relax. Says it's hilarious how proving of stereotypes this situation is in 3 distinct ways. 1, Herschel Walker is a two-faced politician now being exposed for his life of lies and deception which portray his act of Christian conservative. You can't live 2 lives simultaneously. 2, the truth now being exposed that a black man left his wife and son to have out-of-wedlock children, which on its own isn't out of character or surprising, but also that he forced a mistress of his to undergo an abortion procedure despite now running on a platform of strict abortion restriction. And 3, his neglected son, Christian, having only ever had an overbearing mother, is now perhaps one of the most obnoxiously gay men who somehow managed to find himself in the role of relationship guru and conservative influencer.
That is so true. Very based. I don't know if I can really add more to that. But, I mean, all that culminates right there. Whether or not all this is true or not, I mean, it's just weird that you go, yeah, screw it. I'm going to try to tank my dad's political career, especially since he's running against Raphael Warnock, who we don't need in Congress, regardless of if Herschel Walker is a two-faced, politician who is trying to cover up his past or whatever. He is a man who's trying to run on a platform on pro-life Christian values. If he backstabs us, typical Republican. But I'd rather have him and try to take a chance with him than Raphael Warnock, who we know is gonna go on a rampage trying to kill as many babies as possible.
Yeah.
So that's that on the Christian Walker front. Pretty short. I mean, it's really just unsubstantiated claims, kind of, and a gay son lashing out at his way more masculine father. All right, moving on to we'll get into culture section. I was really hoping Davey would be around for this because I intentionally did not show this trailer, but Velma has been in the news. Velma from Scooby-Doo. For backstory, I grew up on this show. I love Scooby-Doo with all of my heart. I grew up watching Scooby-Doo Where Are You?, What's New Scooby-Doo, and Scooby-Doo Mystery Incorporated. All three, I think, are great shows of various qualities, but all three are great. So this is very near and dear to my heart, and I heard about this earlier this year. There's going to be a Velma show coming out starring Mindy Kaling from The Office, who you might know as an annoying entitled brat character. And she stays true to form with that, but she's doing a Velma show where she basically does a self-insert of making Velma an Indian woman. And they released a trailer for that this week. So we have Indian Velma.
Dear HBO Max.
So this is in Max Original.
You intend to make a genre-bending comedic origin story of Judy Jetson. When I heard this new version of Judy Jetson wouldn't be boy crazy, the only word I had to describe my disgust is jinkies. If there is one thing the internet agrees on, it's that you should never change anything ever. Hope you die. Sincerely, Velma. Well, at least Judy's still white.
Oh, yeah. Subtle.
Color? Spooky. Hello? Velma Dinkley speaking.
Hello, Velma. Do you like solving mysteries?
much more three-dimensional than that? Who is this?
That's the mystery. And solve it quick, because I'm in your house.
A serial killer calling from inside my house? Yes, that's a classic, and that's my point. Why change anything when the classics all still work, right? Wait, you're inside my house?
Isn't that funny? Doesn't that look so good?
Yeah, I saw someone on Twitter say, well, at least they went ahead and got ahead of the cart in front of the horse on the show flopping. Like, we know the show's going to be terrible and everyone's going to hate it, so might as well just
just
be self-aware.
yeah, might as well immediately go after the people who are going to be upset with this. Yeah, at least she's still white. Okay, Indian Velma. Mindy Kaling Velma. It's literally just Mindy Kaling. Like, that's all it is. Just make a Mindy Kaling show. But we also had a reveal of the cast for this. I forget the image. Once again, I swear we're professional. It should be image 18 or 19.
Here you go.
Here we go. So we had a cast reveal for this. So Mindy Kaling is, of course, Velma. Glenn Howerton from It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia is going to be Fred, and they kind of redesigned him to have more of a look of Glenn Howerton. Constance Wu, an Asian woman, is going to be portraying Daphne,
Asian Daphne,
whose skin is slightly more yellow and her eyes are more pointy because cartoon Asians. And my favorite is Sam Richardson, who I believe is an SNL alum. I don't know. I don't follow SNL. He just seems like he would be. But he's a black dude portraying Norville, who is which is the real name of Shaggy, who, if you don't know, Shaggy is a stoner stereotype. So, of course, making him the black man. The black man is the way to go with this.
I didn't think that one through.
No, they didn't. These are just, it's all self-insert and self-aggrandizing, and they just said, F it, we're just going to take all these characters. Notice how Scooby-Doo's not in the show. Because obviously they couldn't.
They can't self-insert a dog.
Yeah, they can't self-insert a dog. I mean, if they did Scooby-Doo, I'm sure they would probably just get like Will Ferrell or something and just put Will Ferrell's face on Scooby-Doo. Like that, it's stupid. And it's just like, this entire project is just Mindy Kaling and her friends just like, I don't know, like, oh, we're going to be the Scooby-Doo gang. Isn't this funny? It's stupid. It's stupid. If you want to freaking push your ego or like, stroke your ego or whatever, do it with something that belongs to you and don't do it with something that people grew up loving. I believe it was this show where Mindy Kaling said, I grew up loving Scooby-Doo. I absolutely loved Velma. Velma was my favorite character, except she just wasn't Indian. So I wasn't allowed to like her. Like, it's stupid. Every time people do these shows, the creators come out and just basically say, hey, I loved the original material, and this character was my favorite, but I couldn't get fully into it because, well, they were white, and you can't get into white people. You can't like white people. That's no good. No bueno. It's like, race is at the forefront of their minds. It's like, I cannot relate to this unless it's literally my skin color. It's like, that's a sad existence because you are missing out on some great content. I mean,
I've also seen that people with low IQs have trouble putting themselves into someone else's shoes unless they can physically see themselves in that person.
That makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, that explains a lot.
That explains a heck of a lot because, I mean, I feel bad for stupid people growing up. Shoot. Like, you go, oh man, I love the Flash. Oh wait, the Flash is white. I don't understand the struggles of having a dead mom,
Yeah. It's like the meme of the girl, the little black girl, like, oh, I can't relate to Ariel because she's white. And then it's the picture of the little black boy looking at Goku going Super Saiyan because he's literally me.
Yeah. I mean, we had that with the Little Mermaid stuff where these parents are training their kids to just immediately identify with characters because they're black. But then you had that one little girl that I freaking loved, this little black girl who's watching it and looks at her mom and goes, what is this? That's not Ariel. Ariel's white. I'm like, I love that child. That child's amazing. That child has a bright future. But that's not the only thing we had going on with Velma this week. We had some clips from a new Halloween movie that Scooby-Doo is going to be a part of. And we didn't get Indian Velma. We got a different kind of Velma. Play video.
Which one?
The
one we accidentally played, or
the one we
other
accidentally played, and we'll play them both in succession.
Okay, here's the accidental one.
I'm sure that Coco made some brilliant observations in the encounter we just had.
The cute one's right.
I love Scooby's face. Scooby's face at the end where he's just, okay. All right, next one.
There you go.
Is
It's Scooby's face there. Scooby-Doo's.
Scooby's homophobic.
Oh, this is why Scooby's the best character. he's like, oh boy. Lesbians are at it again.
That's what I was about to say. Lesbians.
Lesbians. And that obviously stirred up a pot storm because now we have Indian Velma, we have gay Velma, and of course this happened, and suddenly all the previous people who worked on Scooby-Doo are suddenly coming out and trying to be like, well, I actually wanted to make Velma gay first, so this was actually my idea. We have, of course, had the story with James Gunn, who notable for writing, directing the Guardians of the Galaxy movies. He actually wrote this live-action Scooby-Doo movies that I think are very fun. They're probably not the best movies out there, but childhood classics for me. But he had come out a couple years back and tried to be like, oh, well, actually, I really wanted Velma to be gay. I wanted to, have her have a gay lover. Obviously, probably like a kink of James Gunn's. I'm not going to lie. I mean, you see the freaking spandex she wore in the second movie. Shoot. But obviously he's like, oh, well, I tried to make her gay, but the studio just wouldn't let us have it. And it's like, yeah, because she wasn't gay before. Like, you can't just go, well, I'm going to make Velma gay. I'm watching Scooby-Doo, Where Are You, back in the 70s, and my immediate thought is, who are each one of the characters boning? No, what the crap? There's of course the meme where Fred's like, oh, I'm going to go check the bedroom with Daphne. You guys go down to the basement. But that was like a lighthearted meme. We don't really care who our characters sleep with, but it's just weird that you are constantly going, oh, well, they have to be gay. They have to be gay because she's not a traditional attractive woman. She's bookish and she's nerdy. So, of course, that screams lesbian because heaven forbid a bookish, nerdy woman is straight. We also had... I don't think it was Victor Cook, but it was one of the people who had worked on Scooby-Doo Mystery Incorporated, which in that show, which one of my favorite shows of all time, by the way. In that show, it was a serialized story. Part of it was Fred and Daphne getting together and their relationships up and downs, and part of it was Shaggy and Velma as a couple for the first little bit of it before they broke up and decided to go their separate ways, and Velma became really good friends with a girl named Hot Dog Water, Scooby-Doo, and the creators came out after all this stuff happened, and they're like, well, obviously we were trying to heavily imply that Velma and this girl she was really good friends with were actually lovers, and that Velma was actually lesbian. Her and Shaggy weren't the right couple because she was actually swinging for the other team. Aren't we progressive? It's like, no one cares. Just let them be a platonic friendship. Like, that is something that doesn't enter into people's minds anymore. We can't have two guys be good friends in a show or a movie. I watch reviews or people watching movies or shows. Anytime a dude just like pats their buddy on the back or gives them a little bro hug, the immediate thought is, oh my gosh, they're gay. They're gay, guys. Oh my gosh, they should kiss. They should get. And it's like, what happened to platonic friendships? Is that just not a thing? It's stupid.
So speaking of the James Gunn comment,
oh boy, I'm worried what you're about to pull up.
Here's British TV presenter Jeremy Clarkson. He's a great comedian.
Okay.
And Jeremy Clarkson claims he's not homophobic as he enjoys watching lesbians on the internet. Yeah, that's James Gunn right there.
Pretty much. James Gunn's like, yeah, I was trying to be progressive, trying to get Velma to be lesbian. Oh my gosh. I was trying to get her and Daphne in a scene because I thought it was gonna be really, really progressive. Ignore me as I cross my legs. Oh my gosh. It's so stupid. You know most of this is just fetish stuff anyways. It's either self-aggrandizement or ego-driven, or it's a fetish thing. They don't care. They don't care about gay representation. Which, let's be honest, if we wanted proper gay representation, it would have been how it was before we were talking about gay representation. It would have been 2% of movies about gay people that most people would ignore, and the gay people would go see and cheer and clap. Speaking of which, Bros
You're
came.
homosexual.
Speaking of which, I'm gay. No, this serves as a nice little segue. Bros debuted last weekend when we did not have an episode because we were super busy and most of what was happening was revolving around Hurricane Ivan. A movie called Bros came out, starring and written by a dude named Billy Eichner, who you probably recognize either from Parks and Recreation, which I think is personally better than The Office, or Billy on the Street, which I've seen a couple clips, and I don't know why people like that. It's just an annoying gay man running around screaming at the top of his lungs and throwing his microphone in people's faces. Of course, you can do that in L.A. Anywhere else, you get punched in the face. Or shot, depending on what city you're in. But he wrote and starred in a movie called Bros, which is a romantic comedy, the first gay rom-com made by a major studio in which every actor in it is an open gay, bi, or trans man, or whatever. And it came out and it debuted horribly. I believe $4.4 million. And Billy Eichner went out on Twitter, and forgive me because I meant to put stuff in the show prep for all this, so Zach's having to pull up all of this. Billy Eichner went out on Twitter and got very pissed and started screaming about how this movie failed because straight people didn't go out and see it. If you don't go see it, you're homophobic and you hate gay people. Yeah, he blames straight people for Bros flopping at the box office. Yeah, no dip. Straight people generally don't want to go see gay movies. That's why stuff like Fire Island was put on Hulu. I don't know if you can pull up a trailer or not, or if we get copyright struck or whatever. But if you watch the trailer, I mean, it revolves around things like, man, I wish it was back during the times when gay things were rejected because it was a lot more fun and we weirded straights out, or straight people are over party, stuff like that from the trailer. And it's like, yeah, a straight person's going to watch this and go, this is going to be obnoxiously gay, isn't it? I don't want to watch that. It's only the gay people who are going to go watch it, and it's going to be straight people who really want to be allies who are going to go see it. I believe Chrissy Mayer, who's a comedian, went and saw it, and she filmed herself there, and her and her friend were the only people in that theater. Meanwhile, Billy Eichner...
He's like, last night, I snuck in and sat at the back of a sold-out theater playing Bros in L.A.
Yeah, of course, it's going to be packed in L.A. That's where all the gays went. It's so stupid. I mean, I'm glad it failed, and I really hope it doesn't like have a comeback at the box office. This kind of stuff does not need to be happening. Yep. I mean, respect to all you gays out there, but like, I don't care. I don't want to see this kind of stuff.
Quote, everyone who isn't a homophobic weirdo should go see Bros tonight.
Well,
from the creator.
Guess what we're not doing tonight? We're not going to see Bros.
Well, guess what I am, Billy Eichner.
I am a homophobic weirdo. Right here. You got us. We're right. Who's homophobic weirdos? These guys.
This guy.
And that guy. It's just, it's sad, but it's also kind of refreshing to see that people aren't 100% bought into this bull crap. Granted, it was also just a horrible. It's been a horrible weekend for movies the past couple weekends. I believe 2 weekends ago, or no, it was last weekend. It was the worst performing box office in 25 years, and that's not accounting for inflation. Like straight up, even with the inflation numbers, back then they still made more money at the box office. That's insane to me. And you look at what's out. You have Billy Eichner boning bros. I love me some illustrations. You have Billy Eichner boning bros. You have revisionist history glorifying slave traders and people, a tribe of people who literally fought to the death against the French twice and lost, mind you, lost the French just so they could keep slaves. This isn't like a tribe of African folks who were like, well, yeah, we got into it because that was just the way it was, but the world is changing. We'll change with it. It was literally, we will fight to the death to keep our slaves. I would rather die than give up slavery. Like that's more than the South was like, like straight up. The South only had to be beaten once to just go, oh, fine, whatever. These guys were like on their deathbed and going, no, screw you, French people. We want our slaves. So we have that movie out. And then besides that, what else? Smile? Smile's like the only movie doing decent at the box office right now. And it's because it's a YA horror movie that all the college and high school kids are taking their girlfriends to. So obviously that's going to be doing well. Everything else is just these delusional people making movies to try to prop themselves or their identities up. And it's retarded and it's ridiculous. And that's about all I have to say on that.
I was going to pull up what movies are in the theater, but it's not loading.
Oh, it's not here. I can pull it up on my phone. I mean, those are probably the only ones worth noting. You have Don't Worry, Darling, that movie.
We got
Black Adam comes out on Friday. Shoot.
Lyle Lyle Crocodile.
Yeah, I mean
Amsterdam, Smile, Scream 2, 25th anniversary. That's not even a new movie.
That's not even a new movie, but it's really good. Go watch that.
And then Barbarian is still in.
Barbarian's overrated. Sorry,
Luck is, I don't know what that is.
It's a DreamWorks movie, I believe. It was on Apple TV Plus for like 5 months, and they put it in theaters. It's not good. Out of all of those, go watch Scream 2. Black Adam comes out this weekend.
Out of all those, go watch the movie that's 25 years old.
Yeah, honestly. Barbarian, super overrated. Don't Worry, Darling, I've heard is a disaster. Yeah.
It says Bullet Train's still in theaters. I've heard that's good.
Bullet Train is good. I think it's very good. Very entertaining. Something you'll get to know about me, I watch a lot of new movies. I've currently seen, I believe, 72 new movies so far this year. And I'm not gonna stop. I'm gonna keep watching them. Although I have stopped going to the theaters quite as much because I don't like giving my money to bad movies. So I'm either not gonna watch them, wait until they go to streaming, or set sail and go out to sea. I'm gonna argue them. Also, the Amsterdam movie did terribly this weekend. I saw. It's a David O. Russell movie. He did American Hustle, which won Best Picture at the Oscars, Silver Lining Playbook, which did really well, The Fighter, Three Kings. All those are movies that people generally like. It's interesting that movie didn't do well. Anyway, that's enough movie nerd talk. We're going to wrap it up. We have maybe about 36 minutes before we probably should get out of here, and we're going to wrap it up with a little nighttime reading for you. So recently, Pfizer and Marvel collaborated to make the most epic comic book of all time. We have it pulled up here, and we're going to give it a read-through. I have not read through it. Zach has not read through it. So we're going to see what kind of propaganda this has cooked up for us, and I'm kind of glad Davey left now, so I'm actually going to go take his seat because it's closer to the TV, and I'm going to need my eyes, and it gives me more of a storyteller vibe. So give me a second. I'm going to move over to the other camera, and we'll get started with the reading.
You can just
teleport. I can teleport. Watch this. I'm a superhero too. Oh, shoot, I need to grab. Whoa, it's like magic. And I'm going to do what Davey never does and point the microphone directly at my mouth so you can hear me. No shade to Davey. So this is called Avengers Everyday Heroes. Written, I don't know, by somebody, some shills. But most importantly, made by Pfizer. Brought to you by Pfizer. So let's go to the next page.
There you go.
So this is just an introductory thing. You're among everyday heroes. Wait, you're among everyday heroes every day? What the crap? Oops, sorry.
Bro.
Sorry, my bad. Excuse me, redundant much? Jeez Louise. The construction worker, the florist, the painter, everyday heroes are everywhere in your Gosh, this is worse than something I wrote in high school. In your community, what makes them everyday heroes? They know what to do to help defend against COVID-19. We love it. Vaccinate. Together we can help protect ourselves against COVID-19. Communicate. Ask your doctor or pharmacist about the latest developments in COVID-19 vaccinations. Stay up to date. COVID-19 is unpredictable. Continue to take action against COVID-19 as it evolves. We all need to do our part. So vaccinate. Stay up to date with the latest recommended booster for you and be an everyday hero. Press that little icon on the left, the little box. Yeah, I think that gives us a closer view of the panels, just to make it easier on my eyes.
Okay. I was trying to figure out how to get rid of the bars, but that works too.
Yeah, it'll be fine. All right, so we have an image here of a bunch of people sitting in a hospital. We have a wheelchair woman and a lady with a hijab, the classic hijab look, and they're all wearing masks. It says COVID vaccinations here. It's a text box, but that's a very pointless text box.
No, they just put the sign like that.
Yeah, I was about to say it looks like it should be a sign, but it's not drawn like it. We have a lady on TV with a picture of Ultron. She says, "As the Avengers continue to battle Ultron." And next panel.
Oh, yep.
Oh,
that's just old guy.
More of the. Yeah, just
Oh,
old
there's another text bubble there. Oh no, that's okay. That's the next panel.
Yeah. She says, "In an all-to-do familiar sight for the long-standing foe of Earth's mightiest heroes," and we see Ultron squaring off with Iron Man, Black Widow, and Captain America, and we have some patients in of course the classic cloth masks, which totally definitely work. If you say it doesn't, you're a bigot and you're spreading misinformation, and you deserve to get fined by PayPal, which is also something that happened literally today. PayPal's going to be fining you if you spread misinformation on social media. On with the story. This guy, this kid says, that looks like 6 blocks from here. Is Ultron gonna get us?" And his mom replies, "I think we're okay. We're gonna be okay, bud." I think this is a Latino family too. I'm not gonna get us any more canceled than we already are. Oh, you moved.
I'm trying to get rid of the boxes because it's covering the text.
Oh yeah. It probably will only get rid of it maybe if you go full screen, but it'll be fine.
Yep.
It'll be fine. We'll do it live. His dad says, "Plus, there's no." I said I wasn't gonna do it, but I can't help it. He says, "Plus, there's no way that's only 6 blocks away. It's going to be at least like 7.
And the son says, "Thanks, Dad. Very comforting."
Oh, nice. Yeah, that's cut off for whatever reason. And we have our little girl here who's playing with obviously a Captain Marvel action figure because she is big, strong, and needs no man. And then I can't quite read what she's saying.
"Don't worry, Captain Marvel will help protect us."
Oh boy, Captain Marvel stan. And then the old man says,
That's right, just like the Avengers have done so many times before.
and the close up of the old man. I can read the first bubble. He says, Ultron keeps coming back, keeps changing and evolving, so the Avengers keep it. Oh, I see where this is going. Gosh dang it! Gosh dang it!
And just like that,
Just like that, this innocuous looking story just became far more sinister. So the Avengers keep adapting and re strategizing, and they knock him back again and again.
this is the first time Ultron showed up, we had never seen anything like him before.
I'm awake. That's Ultron. And then reaction shots of the Avengers, and he holds out his hand for a little blaster attack, and he goes, and ready for battle, and shoots Captain America's shield. Going back to the Latino family. The Latino
The Latino paid actors.
the Latino paid actors. How much did this man get paid? He says, the father says, back then, people didn't know much about Ultron, did they? At first, people weren't prepared, and he just wreaked havoc on their lives. And then old man reaction. Old man says, well, you're right. The Avengers had to figure out how to face him. They relied on decades of experience along with some new innovations. And then kids playing.
And it says they use their combined strength to. I don't know what it says because BioNTech's logo is in the way.
This is a really good UI system for us to read this comic book.
Yeah. They
Probably
use all their
protect us.
combined strength to Pfizer and BioNTech.
They just said, screw the subtlety. And the little boy says, and they use new tools to help us? And his father says, yes, I think so. Another role. I don't think that was supposed to be cut off. Grandpa says, another robot. That first time. And it was working for a while. I think they programmed this wrong. I feel like there was a panel before this that they just missed. Anyway, we'll just keep going. And it was working for a while. Then Ultron got a step ahead again. And his grandson says, Grandpa, how do you know so much about the Avengers? That's a good question. You see, I used to be an Avenger. Whoa!
Whoa.
Whoa!
And then
He literally didn't say what he used to be.
no, because Thor blasts out of the sky.
Oh, okay. So his granddaughter rudely interrupts his story because Thor punches Ultron on the news, and the news lady says, and it got cut off for me, but I think I got this. Continues to be in an absolute knockdown, drag-out fight though officials say they are optimistic that the Avengers
Can prevail. Maybe we should ask them to turn the TV off. I don't know if the kids need to see this.
It's the world that we live in, and the Avengers help protect us.
With a blank stare.
With a blank stare.
Not even looking his wife in the eyes.
The man is dead inside. Yeah,
It's the world we live in. This is his Joker moment.
My man's having flashbacks right now. Oh my gosh. Wife goes, I suppose you're right. We've seen the Ultron so many times before. I remember when the kids were younger, he attacked overseas, spreading his terror across the world. No one saw that coming. Not at that time. I don't even remember how they got the upper hand that time. Do you remember, Pops? It was because Pops was there and he was an Avenger. Yeah. He says, I certainly do. I swear if they say he was there, it's like COVID man or vaccine man. He says, and we're having flashback of the Avengers fighting Ultron bots while he's saying this. By that time, the fighting had come home, right to Avengers Mansion, and Ultron had evolved once more, multiplying into a swarm. The plan was a lot of hard work, but so strategic and innovative. The Avengers truly outdid themselves. It involved an energy shield, Thor's lightning, and Antarctic vibranium. How does he know so much about this? Holy crap. I was remodeling my kitchen at the time and wanted to get my hands on some Antarctic vibranium, but it was probably put to better use in the fight against Ultron. Is he talking about paper towel or toilet paper? Is that
No,
what that's?
he was remodeling his kitchen, like putting new counters, and he was like,
Well, yeah, but is that supposed to be an analogy for people buying toilet paper, but figured it was, I don't know. Or no, the masks. That's what it was. Was it the masks?
I think, was this a flashback to some other issue, like AIDS or something, or bird flu?
Maybe, or maybe it was just alpha strand COVID. I don't know. We're reading too into this.
Well, they're trying to say something here, but it's maybe
confusing.
they'll tell us.
Yeah. All right. Dad says, I had no idea the Avengers did all that. They're just constantly oh, well, there you go.
Nice.
They're just constantly re-strategizing and updating their methods behind the scenes, even when we don't see it. And then Grandpa goes, well, they've used a lot of methods over the years. Like, don't touch your cereal bowls or you'll get AIDS.
Don't drink from the same water fountains as gay people.
A few years ago, Ultron took over the entire moon of Titan. Then we have Ultron Moon. Ultron had evolved once more, and the Avengers had to adapt. So in the end, they just shot him back to space. That's what we need to do with AIDS, and we need
to do with COVID.
And COVID.
Put it on a rocket and send it to space.
It's the Patrick thing. Why don't we take COVID
Bikini Bottom and push
it
it somewhere else?
else?
Is this unironically an anti-immigration comic?
I think they're
Ultron just keeps multiplying and he keeps coming back and we keep trying to fight him but we can't get it. And eventually we just had to send him back where he came from.
Ironic they're using the Latino family to do it, to push this message. All right. I never knew the Avengers shot Ultron into space, Grandpa replies. Most people don't. A friend told me about it. Friend. Oh, right. Those fancy friends of yours. Oh, multiple friends. Jeez, who are you seeing on the weekends, Grandpa? Jeez.
Alzheimer's.
It's the voices in his head.
Yeah.
Little boy says, okay, but this isn't one on Titan. This is right here. And boom, there's a giant explosion, presumably at the hospital. Oh, okay, yeah, that one was pretty close. We may be at some real risk here, especially since the battle has been going on for a while. Like the battle against COVID. Grandpa says, exactly, which is why Iron Man will probably be arriving with something new soon. I swear, if Iron Man just pops in and goes, I have a booster missile or something.
I have a syringe-shaped rocket launcher.
I have a new suit. It is the Mark Booster vaccine model. All right, newscaster lady says, a massive development to share as the Avengers have turned the tide of this battle using some sort of ionized energy cannon, causing Ultron to flee the scene because he's a coward. This is so poorly drawn too. Holy crap. Ionized energy cannon? As long as it works. Ionized energy cannon. Good. What a cute little child you have there. Grandpa, how did you know that what would happen? An old man Grandpa says, because I know them. See, what'd I tell you? He was an Avenger. He's COVID man. He's vaccine man from freaking One Punch Man. And I've seen their pattern so many times before. Ultron evolves. The Avengers gather information and take time to innovate and adapt. And then they figure out how to fight it, putting together their existing knowledge and research along with the new information they've learned. And meanwhile, many people die in the process from their direct cause of from their direct action. You said you know them like in the way we all know them from look. And then Iron Man just flies by at the hospital and just waves at him. The little girl goes, Iron Man, Iron Man. And Iron Man goes, I'm going to do my best Robert Downey Jr. impression here. Hey, kids, how are you? And how are you?
And all that takes place is Iron Man is flying by at Mach 2.
Yeah, he's just, the kids are waving.
Iron Man. Oh, hey, kids, how are you doing?
Friggin' breaking supersonic speed with the Rippo cone just behind him, destroying all the buildings.
Just shatters their eardrums.
Their ears are just bleeding.
Did he say hi back? What?
Oh, it's all the Avengers. Okay. John, you're looking good, buddy. Retirement really agrees with you.
Hey, thanks, Tony.
Of course it's Tony. Thanks, Tony Fauci. I mean, Tony Stark. But don't you Avengers think about retiring. We need you out there helping to protect us. Yeah, okay, that's clearly Anthony Fauci. What the crap? Don't think about retiring on us yet, Tony. We still got plans for you. We're just getting started. You know Iron Man? Hey kids, I wasn't always just a grandpa. I was a male prostitute. Oh, I used to be a foreman for damage control. A company that cleans up after superhero fights.
Just hundreds of dead people.
Hundreds of dead bodies. Hold on. So, Iron Man is...
Those are Ultron. That makes more sense. It's not just like an excavator climbing over a giant pile of dead bodies.
Still, it's good of them to admit that our heroes who fight Ultron leave a lot of destruction and death in their wake, and people have to clean up after them. People who typically aren't them. And through that job, I made some pretty amazing friends and learned some pretty amazing things. Alright, I'm talking to Iron Man. And that's how I know that we can fight back against even tough, ever-evolving enemies like AIDS and COVID. If you're willing to adapt, fight back, and take steps to help protect yourself, it's also important for entire communities to come together and help fight the threat. Good luck. Basic family fighting Ultron. That's a great lesson. And that is exactly what we're doing today. Yeah. Oh, we have some basic white bimbo. We're ready for you. You're up next. The Avengers are doing their part to help keep us safe. Now it's time for us to do ours. By getting a booster shot against the Ultron virus. By staying up to date with COVID-19 vaccinations. And there he is. There's the Avengers celebrating their win against Ultron, and you have the old man just freaking showing off his Band-Aid.
Hey, they're not wearing masks.
Whoa, super spreader event. We got a super spreader event here. That's not very... We don't know if Iron Man would never get vaccinated. Shoot. The only vaccine he needs is a bottle of booze.
Well, Jarvis has a vaccination in the suit. Jarvis, give me my booster. It's been a while, and it's...
Just immediately. Yeah.
Uh-oh.
Oh no, we have an advertisement. As if this entire thing wasn't an advertisement. Not all heroes wear capes, but they do wear a small bandage on their upper arm after they get their latest COVID-19 vaccination, because everyday heroes are concerned about their health. And that's why they get the vaccine. And they're people who choose to unite with their communities and do their part to help protect against COVID-19. Vaccinate and stay up to date with the latest recommended boosters for you. and be an everyday hero.
Sponsored by Pfizer and BioNTech.
Sponsored by Pfizer. Yeah, not biased at all. Please, 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 we need to sell more vaccines to the government. Yeah, the next month's issue is going to be Iron Man going over to Ukraine and fighting Russia. And also, this old Latino guy's going to be there to talk all about the history of Russia and Ukraine.
Although I like how the last little bit after they reveal who the grandpa is kind of right wing and anti-establishment, being that he's part of the people who clean up after the superheroes who are the government.
Who are the government officials who are trying their best to protect us. Like
And
they just kind of glossed over the part that all these heroes that we worship, they kind of do leave bodies behind.
They do a lot of damage.
They do a lot of damage
And
to stop like one thing, and it keeps coming back. So they're not very successful at what they do, and they leave a lot of bodies behind. Yeah, just ignore that part. That is a little ironic. So reminder that Marvel is not your friend. Because they're teaming up with Pfizer to spread. I mean, this is literally just straight up propaganda. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about that. I mean, that's like textbook propaganda right there. I really like this seat, by the way. This is actually kind of nice. I might need to get me a seat at some point. But yeah, this is just clear cut propaganda. I'm glad this was free. I'm glad I didn't have to pay for it. And that's the only positive thing I'll say about this comic. Other than that, it's straight up propaganda. I mean, hey, kids, please get the COVID vaccine. I know, like, literally no one is worried about it right now, but please don't get it. It's the meme like, oh no, please, COVID's still dangerous. Please, please get your booster shots.
No, honestly, just cut out the last three pages, and it's an anti-immigration, anti-government comic.
I know. Honestly, they accidentally put some based messages in there. So, good job, Pfizer. See, this is the thing. They can't help. Anytime they're pushing like their propaganda, you still find like based messages in there, or even in really good movies that are heavily left leaning. It's good because there's characters who are inherently based in it. And it kind of counteracts. So like something like The Boys, right? The Boys is pretty left leaning. It kind of makes fun of establishment media a little bit, but then they're going, but yeah, Homelander's actually kind of Trump, and he's the real bad guy. But the entire time I'm watching it, I'm like, yo, I kind of love Homelander. Bro, women be lying and falsely accusing people of things. Yeah, let's go. Let's go. We stand Homelander. I mean, they shoot themselves in the foot. But yeah, besides that, this comic is garbage, and they're just desperately trying to hold on to some form of relevance, trying to keep their name in your mouth, unlike Will Smith wanting to keep his wife's name out your mouth. So, I'm glad we read that, but that was bad.
Yeah, here you go.
Oh my gosh! All right, Zach's pulling up a Trump tweet.
There we go.
Oh, he's got a. Oh my gosh!
I just want to stop the world from killing itself. So true, King.
So true. We can't wait to see you in 2024. Are you still Trump over DeSantis?
Oh yeah.
I think every day I'm getting more Trump over DeSantis. Like there's still things I don't like that he did, especially with his handling of the COVID pandemic. I mean that was not great. But I don't know.
I've always not really been a DeSantis guy.
Yeah.
Because he's not all that. He's just like a regular conservative.
Mm-hmm.
He says some of the right things to get points.
Yeah.
And some of like the very media heavy issues like the Don't Say Gay bill and all that stuff.
Yeah.
But I think he praised Biden about climate change stuff.
Yeah.
Which we know is BS. And then I was going to say something else.
Well, someone had pointed out recently.
Oh, and then he gets a whole lot of money from billionaires and corporations. I think
Yeah.
only like single digits or maybe like 25% max
Yeah.
of his donations in the past year or so have been from small dollar donors, where like 54% of Trump's in that same time
yeah.
span were small dollar donors.
Okay.
So
Yeah. Someone else had pointed out. It might be our boy Nuentes. I think it might have been him. It could have been someone else. But someone had pointed out that he just kind of came out of nowhere. Right. He was not in the race at all. He was running, wasn't doing too well, and his opponent was caught betting some young men, some young men who get paid to be betted. And suddenly he went down in the polls, and suddenly DeSantis came out of nowhere and just swept polls. So that's a little sus. Like, he just comes out of nowhere, suddenly gets all these big donors, and suddenly sweeps the race. There is some suspicious things for me going on there. He says some cool stuff. The Don't Say Gay bill's cool. But I think at this point in time, I prefer him in Florida. We don't. I mean,
Yep.
even if he does have the best intentions, we don't know how he's going to handle national media. Right now, he's doing fine with just Florida, and he's dealing with Florida because he doesn't have to deal with people pushing back on him, except for national media, and he can just kind of ignore it. When you get into the national landscape, you go to DC, that's completely different. It's all Game of Thrones there. You have little fingers all around the place who are just going to sweet talk you and stab you in the back.
Yep.
So even assuming that DeSantis isn't one of those types of people and he is an altruistic person, we don't know how he's going to deal with that because he hasn't faced proper resistance yet.
Yep.
And Trump, for all of his faults, he has faced that and faced it pretty well. He just doesn't need any Kushners near him, and he needs to be very specific with how he chooses his cabinet. I'll put it that way.
Yeah, I'd say really what you need in a president is someone who can go intimidate world leaders and get them on a stage and say, we're building a wall and making Mexico pay for it.
Yeah.
And we're sending all the illegals back where they came from.
Yeah, honestly.
And then getting up there and just being who Trump is.
Yeah, we need more
And then
presidents like Trump. People who are a little unpredictable, a little Joker-esque. You know, who are just like, you want to know how I got these scars? My father was a drunk. We need someone who's just going to sit down and intimidate. Because when Trump was president, people didn't want to do anything because they were terrified of what he was going to do. He might not have done it, but they didn't want to risk that, right? Like, Trump was the guy who was going to sit down and just be like, so you're thinking about invading this country over here. Well, you see, I have a big red button. And when I press...
And it's bigger than anyone else's.
And it's bigger than anyone else's. And when I press said big red button, we're going to send about 5 or 6 nukes flying, hurtling across the air. And it's going to bomb your biggest cities. Men, women, children's, even those trannies are going to die. Do you want to test me? Do you want to see a magic trick? Like, we need someone who's going to be like that. Another Trump tweet.
Yep.
All right. North Korean leader Kim Jong-un just stated that the nuclear bomb is on his desk at all times. Will someone from his depleted and food-starved regime please inform him that I too have a nuclear button, but it is as a much bigger and more powerful one than his, and my button actually works. That's just facts. Like that.
Yeah, that's the kind of people we need in government.
Yeah, people, and when he tweeted that, I think I remember him tweeting this out. People were losing their minds, like, "Oh my gosh, he's threatening to bomb North Korea. We're gonna have a war." No, he's just saying, "Look, you're gonna make threats, okay? I can actually back my threats up, okay? Not only can I back them up, they're gonna be better threats, okay? And everything you have, I have, but bigger and better, and they actually work." Like, it's just, it's not like, oh, I'm going to actually do this. It's just, hey, you want to test me? Let's find out, you know?
This goes back to why Fuentes says that Russia and China are serious countries, which they are.
Yeah.
Because you see this recently where the NATO is like, you can't do that. You can't take those regions. And he's like, well, what are you gonna do about it? I've got nukes and I'll use them.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
the West is like, oh no, we can't. No, you
Yeah.
can't do that.
Instead-
We're gonna sanction you. And Putin's like, that's literally
Okay.
like 12% of our GDP. What do you? Okay.
Okay.
And that's
What these supposed to do?
yeah. We've got the weak leaders currently who are like, we're gonna sanction you. We're gonna disavow you. It's like, yeah, I've got freaking nukes, idiot, and I'm
Yeah.
gonna use them. Are you?
Yeah, we are a Twitter-minded people. Like, we think an epic own and something that's going to stop someone is a change.org petition. Like that's our mindset. Is
Virtue signaling and doing things to make people think that we're super high and mighty.
yeah. It's like, oh, cool morals you have there. Hey, we're in a nuclear war. What are you going to do to help us? Yeah, like you might not like Russia, you might not like China. I don't like China. I like Russia not as much as China.
I mean, I don't really care for either of them.
Yeah.
But
Russia seems like a cool place. Like to visit, you know.
the
but
people are cool.
people are pretty cool. Putin,
I mean, he's killed a lot of people.
I mean, he's former KGB, so
Yeah.
like, he's a spy.
But You
Nope.
gotta respect him. He's a serious world leader.
He's a serious world leader who does not give a crap about the WEF or NATO. Like, he doesn't care what the people are going to tell him. He's just going to do him. Like, that's something that's admirable. And now what he's doing, a lot of the stuff he's doing, not too great, but he is standing for what he believes in. I mean, he is. I think he's like outwardly declared that the WEF is anti-Christian and he wants to have a Christian nation. So at the very least, that's admirable. But he stands for what he believes in. He doesn't kowtow to people. That's why people try to equate him to Trump. People try to equate him with Kanye, right? Like, people who just won't be swayed, people who won't kowtow to people, Twitter mob, basically. Oh no, I'm gonna lose my job, right?
Yeah, these are legitimate, like, masculine leaders.
Yeah, and they don't care. And granted, they can also afford to not care. Kanye is a music legend. Like his music or not, he has been highly influential in the way rap and hip hop has developed as a genre and has pushed the mold on how you can present that type of music. Trump is a friggin' multi-billionaire who ran his own TV show. He literally became famous for being rich, right?
Yeah.
And yes, he had the small loan of $1 million, but he turned that into billions, right? And successful hotel chain, successful TV show, became president. I mean, the serious leader. Those two guys can kind of afford to not go along with the narrative. All they have to left to lose is their lives.
But yeah, even then, that they're being destroyed by the media.
Yes.
I mean, they have money, but the reason they have money and all that stuff is because of their brand.
Yeah.
Like, Kanye is a musical artist and he does all this stuff in the public square. They kick him off Twitter and disown him from the public square. I mean, he's nobody pretty much.
Yeah. They literally exist by the population.
They're literally trying to destroy Trump, and Putin has people literally trying to assassinate him.
Yeah. Yeah,
And
there
he
was
has
that
to
bombing.
literally purge people from his cabinets and whatever
Yeah.
to keep people from getting too close to him that want to kill him.
Yeah. So it's like,
I mean, yeah, they're powerful and they've got money, but they also have a lot more.
they have a lot
More
still have
enemies.
Yeah.
A lot more powerful enemies too.
Yeah. So, I mean, we need
Like if we say something stupid, we lose our job, whatever.
yeah.
But
yeah, we're going to lose
But
our
I'm not gonna get assassinated by.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, so you have that kind of platform. You're putting yourself at a greater risk, living wise. And people like Kanye aren't too worried because they know where they're going when they die. So like, who cares?
Yeah, there's another thing. What the combining factor between Trump, Kanye, and Putin are all Christian.
Yeah,
Well,
or at the very least, they stand. They outwardly stand for Christianity.
yeah. I mean, Putin and Trump.
Putin might
and
not.
Putin and Trump are not the poster children for
I
Christianity.
mean, even Kanye really isn't. I mean, he's
now
he's
gotten a
doing
lot
well
better.
now. Yeah, but I mean, dude was married to Kim Kardashian for a long time. He literally had a song singing about where he sung about I think I'm married a porn star.
Well, people
But
change.
people-
Nobody
yeah.
is beyond saving.
Yeah, and I mean that's why I love what Kanye is doing right now. I mean, even with some of the more spicier stuff, it's great to just see him unload and be completely just unshackled from anything in the elite circle. We need more people like
Yep.
that. More people who are gonna live. Because, I mean, rest in peace, Coolio. That's all I'm gonna say. I mean, he had a video where he was talking about some of the weird stuff the elite were doing, and then just a couple days after that, suddenly dies. So we need to keep
and
more.
allegedly, the Michael Jackson was saying some similar stuff to what Kanye's saying.
That
and
that would make
they
sense. 'Cause
Made
they
him out to
paint-
be a pedophile and
Yeah.
killed him.
Guys, I've been someone who's been long skeptical of a lot of that. A lot of people have kind of accepted Michael Jackson as a kitty diddler. Granted, we don't know for sure. I know,
I
like,
mean, it's entirely possible.
because he
but
did
it's
hang
also-
around kids a lot, like a weird amount. But he was also like, he was a very child-minded person. You know what I'm saying? Like
Yeah.
he didn't think like an adult much.
Yeah, but it's also entirely possible that none of that stuff would have come out. But then
Yeah.
he said something he shouldn't have, and then
Yeah, because
they're
someone
like, "Oh,
someone
we got
yeah.
some dirt on you. You did something."
Someone who stood by his side this whole time was Macaulay Culkin, someone who hung out with him all the time as a kid. The pushing force of a lot of these accusations were just two dudes who didn't gain any relevance, and then just came out with a documentary with this random guy. I watched first half of Finding Neverland, and I was just, it's like, a lot of this doesn't add up. One of the guys was talking about events that couldn't have never taken place, because he was like, "Oh, I visited the Neverland Ranch at this date," and he's like, "Dude, you were in Michael Jackson's posse before that was a thing, and you left to go solo and never came back to him before that was ever built." So there's some sus things going on with that. So with that added detail, I can definitely buy he was the first victim of cancel culture. Like,
Well,
suddenly dying, painted as a
to be
pedophile.
fair, this has been a thing for a while.
True.
I mean, there are people that could have gotten us out of World War II that died, quote, died.
Died under suspicious circumstances. I've been delving into the missing 411 phenomenon a little bit, and that stuff is really eerie. Granted, these weren't important people who just it's just people, normal people who just randomly vanish in national parks, and suddenly the FBI gets involved, even though they should have had no way to know about it. There's this one instance where a kid vanished in the woods, and suddenly the Green Berets were there within 2 hours. Like, they were just, "Oh yeah, we just happened to be nearby doing the training exercises," and suddenly the Green Berets are in on a search for this kid, and they just go, "Oh well, I guess we didn't find anything." Weird stuff going on in the public, the national parks. Something the FBI and the Green Berets know about. Not. I'm not gonna say aliens. Some people say aliens. I don't. Despite all my skepticism, in like my willingness to believe some crazy stuff, especially within the past year, I can't bring myself to believe in aliens. I just can't. But there's something in a lot of these national parks or forests. There's actually a conspiracy theory that I really like the idea of. I don't know if it's true, but there's a conspiracy theory that Theodore Roosevelt started the National Park Services because he encountered like a Wendigo or a Bigfoot or some mysterious creature that killed his friend on a bear hunt, and he said, "All right, so we're gonna start National Park Services and preserve these areas so these things do not get out and kill us." And I kind of love that idea. I don't know if that's true or not, but I'm getting more into like the folklore type stuff and trying to discern what folklore could or could not be real. And maybe that's something to develop on later, because we're running a little long tonight. Yeah. I was like, oh shoot, we probably don't have enough content to go for an hour and a half and then Davey leaving, but we're at an hour and 35 minutes.
Conversations and stuff is getting into stuff like that.
Yeah. Yeah, I might have to introduce you to some of this because it's really interesting. I've been binge listening to a podcast that's been talking a lot about this. Wendigoon has been talking about it a lot on YouTube, and he's kind of what got me started down this lane. Got the ball rolling for me because he's a Christian dude. He likes talking about stuff he's learning in the Bible, but he also loves talking about horror and mythology and that kind of stuff. And what kind of brought me over to it was him and this other guy, Aiden, at a channel called the Lore Lodge. They kind of talk about how when you read the Bible, there's a couple of verses that mention in Genesis that mention the Nephilim, which are basically the children of the children of the children of heaven and the children of earth. What I would assume to be demons, like fallen angels, and they bred with humans and created these weird beasts. And with that idea, I completely conceptually buy into some of these things existing and having some level of intelligence because they're part, they're part demonic, part human. And because they are part demonic, it's easier to believe that not a lot of people get to see them. So conceptually, I totally buy into a lot of cryptids and mythological beasts. Also, the fact that ancient cultures developed the same ideas around certain mythological creatures, even though they had no contact with each other, and they're like the exact same things, is really weird to me. Like the concept of sirens or mermaids developing in like 15 different ancient societies and cultures.
Yeah.
And there's no way for them to go, oh, well, that's like visit the other one and to go, oh, that's cool. Let's put that in our writing. They just developed independently. It's like, there has to be some level of basis for this, whether it's the manatee explanation or whether it's something else. So I'm totally open to that kind of idea. I do need to have solid proof for me to go for sure this stuff exists, but like I think conceptually it works.
Yeah.
But yeah, on that note, we just delved into some weird stuff. On that note, I'm so glad you guys joined us today. I hope you enjoyed the episode because honestly, like this is probably one of my favorites. I really enjoyed it. I enjoyed reading the comic. I enjoyed talking about Velma and enjoyed hanging out with Davey and talking about Kanye West. Like I'm
going DEFCON 3.
Yeah, going not DEFCON, DEFCON 3.
That is such a good little line to use
so
forever.
I'm going DEFCON 3. I need to save that in my memory bank and just like anytime I'm about to go ham on something, I'm going DEFCON 3. But we had a great time tonight. I really enjoyed it. I hope a lot of you guys stayed and watched to the end. If you enjoyed today's episode, leave us a like, leave us a comment on what you think about what we think. We got into some spicier topics and some more out there ideas and thoughts. So we would welcome your opinions and what you think. Don't forget to subscribe to us here on YouTube, on Rumble, on Odyssey. That's where we post every Monday at 2 o'clock. And we are also on audio, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, and probably a couple others. Go check us out there. Leave us 5-star ratings. Follow us. Try to get us in the algorithm because I really enjoy doing these, and I would like this to gain some sort of traction. Don't forget code Garrett at coffeebrandcoffee.com.
And we don't have your tag because you're on the wrong camera.
Oh, I'm on the wrong camera. Shoot. Oh, okay, my bad. Click on the link below and get yourself some coffee, cocoa, or tea. It's a solid company. I don't know the guy who runs it. I follow him on YouTube. Don't agree with everything he says, and I think he would agree. But solid dude, and support small companies. I mean, that's a big thing to do. Support smaller companies, especially ones that want you to be free and have freedom. There's Public SQ, the app where people can register their businesses as small businesses that support freedom, support you and your rights. So that's a useful thing to have. But yeah, thank you for joining us today. Of course, my name is Garrett, host of Alt.tistic, the most retarded show on the net. Our co-host was Davey, who unfortunately had to leave early to have dinner with his mom because he's a mama's boy. I totally get that. I was a mama's boy as well. I loved my mama dearly. And we have Zach, also probably fellow Mama's Boy,
Yep.
producer. We hope you enjoyed today's episode. We cannot wait to see you again next week. And yeah, we stay retarded and all that fun stuff. I'm getting tired. I have homework due here in like 4 hours that I haven't started, so I'm gonna get started on that. Stay retarded. Thank you and good night.